In the year 79 AD, a catastrophic event froze an entire Roman city in time. Pompeii, a bustling hub of life, was buried under tons of volcanic ash and pumice from the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. For centuries, its secrets lay hidden, a silent testament to a day of unimaginable terror. But what if we could peel back those layers? What if we could drain the very oceans that surround this legendary site to reveal the full story of its final, tragic moments? Today, we're doing just that. Using cutting-edge science and stunning visual technology, we're going to drain the oceans and strip away the earth to uncover the secrets of Pompeii's dead. Before the eruption, Pompeii was a vibrant, thriving city. Imagine walking these very streets, now silent, but once filled with the sounds of merchants hawking their wares, children playing, and the chatter of citizens in the forum. It was a city of exquisite villas adorned with beautiful frescoes, bustling bakeries, and lively taverns. Life here was rich and full. The Bay of Naples, a strategic and picturesque location, made Pompeii a prosperous commercial center and a popular resort for wealthy Romans. People lived their lives, completely unaware that the beautiful mountain looming over them was a ticking time bomb. The Romans didn't even have a word for volcano. They saw Vesuvius as just another mountain, a gift from the gods providing fertile soil for their vineyards and olive groves. There were warning signs, of course. Earthquakes had rocked the region for years, but the residents had grown accustomed to them, simply rebuilding and moving on. They had no idea these tremors were the mountains stirring from a long slumber. Then came the fateful day. Around noon on an autumn day, Vesuvius erupted with a force many times greater than a nuclear bomb. It sent a colossal column of smoke, ash, and rock soaring miles into the sky. The day turned to night. Panic ensued. People were faced with an impossible choice: flee and risk the chaos outside, or shelter in their homes and pray for safety. The initial phase of the eruption rained down light pumice stones. It was terrifying, but for some, it seemed survivable. They huddled in their homes, hoping the storm would pass. But the worst was yet to come. This is where our journey truly begins. By digitally draining the Bay of Naples, we can see the underwater landscape as never before. The seabed reveals the original Roman coastline, showing us just how much the eruption altered the geography. More importantly, it helps us trace the final, desperate escape attempts of Pompeii's residents. Hundreds, perhaps thousands, fled towards the sea. The beach was their last hope for survival. Here, archaeologists discovered over 300 skeletons huddled in boathouses along the ancient shoreline. They weren't killed by the falling ash. So, what happened to them? The answer lies in the most terrifying phase of the eruption, the pyroclastic surge. This is a superheated, fast-moving avalanche of gas, ash, and rock, reaching temperatures of over 300 degrees Celsius and racing down the mountain at hundreds of miles per hour. It was an unstoppable force of nature. The moment this deadly cloud hit the boathouses, it was over in an instant. The intense heat would have killed everyone instantly, long before the ash buried them. The skeletal remains tell a haunting story. We see families holding each other, a soldier with his sword still at his side, a woman clutching her jewelry. These weren't just skeletons. They were people, frozen in their last moment of life, their terror preserved for eternity. The heat was so intense it vaporized their soft tissues, but it also perfectly preserved their bones, giving us a unique window into their lives and their final seconds. But not everyone died on the beach. Back in the city, the story is just as grim. Let's peel back the layers of ash covering Pompeii itself. The most famous discoveries here are the plaster cast of the victims. In the 19th century, archaeologists noticed cavities in the hardened ash. By pouring plaster into these voids, they created detailed casts of the bodies that had decomposed within, capturing their final postures. We see a man curled up, covering his face. We see a dog, contorted in its final moments. These casts are profoundly human and incredibly powerful. They aren't statues, they're the outlines of real people. For a long time, it was believed these people suffocated slowly from the ash. But modern science tells a different, and perhaps even more horrifying, story. By studying the plaster casts and the skeletal remains within them using CT scans and DNA analysis, scientists have made groundbreaking discoveries. The posture of many victims, a pugilistic stance with clenched fist and curled limbs, is a telltale sign of death by extreme heat. It's a phenomenon called cadaveric spasm, a muscular reaction to intense thermal shock. Just like the people on the beach, the residents who sheltered in their homes were likely killed instantly by the pyroclastic surge. The heat was so severe it could flash boil brains and vaporize body fluids. It was a swift, brutal end. Forensic analysis also reveals details about their health. Many had excellent teeth, thanks to a low-sugar diet and high levels of fluorine in the local water. They were generally well-nourished, though they also suffered from common Roman ailments. These silent victims are now speaking to us, telling us not just how they died, but also how they lived. One of the most compelling stories is that of the Villa of Oplantis, a lavish estate just outside Pompeii believed to belong to the Emperor Nero's wife. Here, dozens of skeletons were found clustered in a storeroom. They were wealthy individuals adorned with gold and jewels, who had sought refuge in what they thought was a secure location. They carried their most precious belongings, hoping to wait out the eruption. But the surge showed no mercy. It breached their sanctuary, and they met the same fate as everyone else in its path. Draining the bay allows us to see the bigger picture. We can map the flow of these deadly surges, understanding how they spread across the landscape and into the sea, engulfing everything and everyone in their path. It's a stark reminder of the volcano's immense power. The eruption of Vesuvius was a tragedy of epic proportions, but it also created an unparalleled archaeological treasure. By burying the city so quickly, the ash protected it from the ravages of time. It preserved buildings, objects, and even food, giving us an almost perfect snapshot of Roman life. We can walk through homes and see the art on the walls, step into a bakery and see carbonized loaves of bread still in the oven, and read graffiti scribbled by ordinary people nearly 2,000 years ago. And most poignantly, we have the victims themselves. They are not just anonymous casualties. Through science, they have become witnesses. Their remains tell us about their health, their diet, and their final, desperate actions. By draining the oceans and stripping away the ash, we've uncovered the truth. The people of Pompeii didn't suffocate slowly under a blanket of ash. They were victims of an immense, superheated blast that ended their world in a flash. Their story is a powerful reminder of both the fragility of human life and the incredible resilience of the human spirit, a story that continues to captivate and move us to this day. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey back in time. If you found this as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more dives into history's greatest mysteries.